Yeah.
Hi Salvi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, can you tell us something about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Okay, my name is Shalvi Singh, and I do have 5+ years of experience in manual as well as automation including. And I do have work experience in API side as well as basic of SQL queries also. And I do have work experience in application testing for healthcare products applications and as well as insurance application. So currently I'm working in accidents consulting in the private limited. They are working for basically insurance based US based company, that is Berkshire Hathaway. So they are into basically insurance module and healthcare module. So yeah, that's all about myself.
Yeah. Thank you so much for introduction. So how do you start your day? Can you tell me the different roles and responsibilities that you take care of since the starting of the day?
Yeah, sure. So basically, it's like we are working in agile methodology. So it has like sprint planning and the sprint retrospective at the end of the sprint. So we do have a user story specified. If it is like currently we are working Java DevOps tool, that user story comes over there, and we have to see the acceptance criteria in the user story, and then we have to break it, and then we have to test case designing happen, and we have to see the logic in the acceptance criteria. So after that, it is like decided in a daily scrum call or a sprint planning before starting of the sprint, that which uh, which kind of testing we're going to perform and how many tasks is in each person bucket would be there. If it is a automation script we have to run, how many test cases is going to be in manual or in automation, that way.
Mhm. Okay, great. So consider a situation where you had sprint planning for 10 sprints, right? Now those 10 sprints got completed. Now what will you do from 11th sprint?
Okay. If 10th sprint is completed, so in 11th sprint, we will see if it is like any bug which is opened or it is not fixed, or again while retesting of all the modules or all the sprint, is there any critical bug first, then go to the second level of priority wise. So we will check on that, and is there any new feature while regression happens, so is there anything missed out or particular to the end user perspective, and we will have a BA meetings with the BA team as well as with the development team. What can be done in the sprint 11, keeping in mind that. So yeah.
Right. So before sprint 10 is about to complete, you will have a conversation with the BA or the stakeholders or with the within your team that what would be the goal for sprint 11, right? If nothing is there, then in sprint 11, maybe you can try to automate few of the test scenarios which were marked as not applicable. Maybe you can try if it is feasible now, right? By new tool or technology. Another thing is you can also have a retrospective meeting and you can
Yeah.
ask your development team to do some refactoring related to the code or related to the design that they would have done. So then you can take up those tasks for testing, right? Whether regression test issues has been introduced or not. Another thing is if there is some particular story for which the test cases were not written properly, so you can take up those story as well, right? And whenever this kind of question is asked to you in a real-time interview, so just tell them that in sprint 9, during sprint 10 or 9 itself, we will have a discussion in priority that sprint 11 is going to start or what would be your role. It should not happen like sprint 11 has started and still the planning is going on rather than execution. So that is the very first and the foremost thing, right? That planning should be done. Everyone should be on the same page what all the testing team is going to do, and they are moving in the correct direction. They are moving in the expected direction like that. Okay. Okay. Now consider a scenario where you have two members in your team, right? Both of them are not performing up to the mark, right? They are not able to find defects. They are not able to do manual testing. You have given them the product knowledge. You have given them all those kind of KT, right? But still they are not able to find defects. So how will you handle this kind of scenario?
Okay. So approach would be very simple if still they are not able to find, because to find a defect in any application or product, they should know the user story very well, or whatever the requirement basically during the starting point of the requirement only. So analysis on the requirement has to be done clearly. If they are not clear with the requirement, they are not able to write proper test cases as well, and not able to find the bug also. So what I will do, I will try to help them particular point or particular flow of the application, whatever module. Suppose it's an automation flow, suppose it's an workflow of like payment module or login page. He's not able to understand, then we will help him to understand the application first of all at the at both level, like UI level and backend level. Then he will able to find, or he will able to work. Yeah.
Okay. So after explaining him, still if he is not able to find, then what you will do?
Then again we have to work together, and like I have to also show him what I am doing to find a bug
Mm,
step, whatever the steps we are following, step 1 to 10, or suppose 1 to 5, whatever.
mm,
So how we find a bug, how we log the file, while if we are getting any kind of work, and again we show to the developer sometime like this is a bug, and if they are not accepting us, all those whatever bug life cycle we follow, we will show to him or her, whatever. But if still he is not able to understand, then we will give some time to understand, like 1 day, 2 day, whatever he is comfortable. We will give the requirement to understand properly, because without understanding the acceptance criteria or the requirement, what it says, they are not able to go through the test case also, or they are not able to cope up with the application level scenario. So yeah, and still it's not, then that's not in my bucket. I will report to my higher level. Yeah.
mm. Okay, okay, right. Okay. So now let me share my screen. I'll give you one scenario which you are supposed to test. Yeah. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So this is your scenario. Okay. You have an application like Flipkart. Just move it over. Okay. And you want to buy a pen. So you have added that item 2 times to the cart using add to cart button. Okay. But in the cart, only one entry for that item should be displayed with quantity as 2, right? You won't see 2 items in the cart, right? Pen again and again. You'll just see pen and it should be displayed with 2. So how will you test this?
Okay. So so basically, in the Flipkart option, we have to buy a pen, but we should not see two items in the cart,
Mm,
in
mm,
the add to cart button option.
mm, mm.
Only one entry for the item. Only one time that we have added to pen, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Let me try.
Mhm. No worries. You can take your time for thinking, for analyzing.
Am I able to write here? No. Shall I explain, or like have to write?
Yeah, yeah, whichever way you are comfortable. So are you clear with the question?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, now you can explain.
So basically, verify that whatever the pen option we have added, uh,
Mm,
pen item in the cart, it is taking whatever the time frame while opening that particular product or product.
mm,
It is how much time it is taking, like suppose 2 second or 5 second.
mm,
That we have to verify, and then functional scenario, like we are able to check the color, size, whatever it is of
mm.
that particular product, and we are able to see the quantity, whatever it is added, like a two, it is visible or not. And if I will try to remove that particular product pen, able to remove from the add to cart option or not,
Mm.
that one. Yeah.
Okay. So now see, the expected result is very clear that that item should be displayed once, but the quantity should be displayed as 2, right? So you can test. when you remove one particular, when you decrement that number of quantity, one should be displayed over there. And same thing should be checked out as well. When you check out with one item, only one item should be uh, should reach out to the people, to the person who has actually ordered it, right? You can also do API testing over here, right? In API testing, you can check what is the response that you are getting on that add to cart page, right? Is it showing two? Maybe it is showing two on the front end UI side, but it is showing four in the back end, right? So there's a loophole over, there's a bug over there, right? So this is how you can do this kind of testing. Then you can also test with various users, like someone is a super admin user, someone is a common user, someone is a customer, right? You can test in various environments, development,
Yeah.
testing, UAD environment, right? Then UI UX scenarios are fine that you told. Then you can also test with various mobiles, like Android platform, iOS, iPhone, you can test. In various browser versions, you can test. Right? So this is how you will be doing the testing. So whenever this kind of scenario-based question comes, so try to tell more and more, like 360-degree kind of test scenarios. How will you test them? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now consider a scenario where you were running automation, right? Sorry, you were not running. It was being triggered by some DevOps tool at night, 11:30 p.m. It started running the automation 11:30 p.m. 4:30 a.m. you got the result in an email. When you started your work in the office at 10:30 a.m., you saw the report. Out of 100 test cases, one test case was getting failed, right? So you went and you manually tested that particular test case or test scenario, but now it is working fine. So how will you debug this kind of scenario? It didn't work during automation, but for manual, it is working fine.
Mm. Means during manual time it is working fine, while automating it is failing.
Mm-hmm.
So basically it would be like I think browser issue,
Mm-hmm.
because while validating in the manually we have checked, suppose in Chrome browser or Mozilla,
Mm-hmm.
so those kind of thing. Server issue,
Mm-hmm.
uh, server issue could be happen.
How will you come to know what kind of issue it is, like whether it is related to browser, timing, or server, whatever the issue is? How will you come to know?
If it is failing with the screenshot or whatever we are getting in the screenshot,
Mm-hmm.
so through that analyze the root cause basically. So in the
Mm-hmm.
failing we will get some kind of, if it is like sometime time based kind of issue, time stamp kind of thing, it will show at in the log file. Or if it is a browser issue, it will give some those kind of exception kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
Okay. So first of all, you will be analyzing the screenshot. That was a good thing. You can also analyze log files. So whatever logs would have got created during the automation execution, those log files you can see. And you can, if you feel that the server issue is there, so you can go to the server logs and you can check what was the CPU usage or what was the performance of the machine during that time slot when it was getting executed, right? So you'll come to know, okay, server was a bit slow, maybe more resources utilization was there, so it got slow. Browser also got slow, so the script failed, right? Another scenario over here can be that there is some update that would have started at night on that machine, because of which the VM, the virtual machine, which would have got created on the fly, that got interrupted. The server again, the resources got utilized, and again your script failed. Okay. Third thing can be that the browser version could have changed, right? Maybe when you are
Yeah.
testing it uh, on your local browser, it is still the older version, but when on that VM, the version would have upgraded, right? So maybe the XPATH might would have changed, the locator might would have changed, right? That also could be one of the reason, right? So this is how, these are the various kind of reasons that you can have based on the failure. Okay. Now, can you tell me something about the automation framework that you are working in?
So basic whatever I've worked on like BTD framework and data driven.
Okay.
So, uh, so BDD is like a very simple to understand to all the team members in a QA side as in BA side also as
Mhm.
a testing purpose. So it is like defined with a framework like given, when, and then conditions. It is written in a very simple English language. So
Mhm.
in given, we set those kind of parameters over there. What parameter we are going to perform? Suppose I have to test for the login page or home page. So we have to particularly for those things we have to write the parameter, and in when we perform the operation, whatever the operation we are going to perform uh,
Mhm.
for those automation scenarios, and then we are getting the responses output basically whatever the result we have validated in the API automation framework. Just and also if we are going with the VDD framework with the Cucumber side, so we have like some of the dependency we have to add like Cucumber dependencies, and we have to basic structure would be like folder structure would be pom.xml we have to add over there, and it would be like scenario outline feature file has to be added. So these are very important in the current framework what we are working on.
Mhm.
And when we have done web-based automation, we have used a data-driven framework. So
Mhm.
there, what happens? We have a separate test data. We have folder structures like uh, test source main Java. Means whatever the test we are going to execute or the script, it is kept over there. And we have main Java. So whatever the dependency we have used in the Maven side or config properties file, config.properties, all that has been kept in the uh, src main.java structure in the folder. And also the logic for data driven is like we have a test data, whatever the test data, like multiple data we can kept in a separate Excel or XLS file. So that way it is going.
Mhm. Okay. Now, whenever you are explaining about framework, so you have to tell which programming language you are using, what kind of reporting mechanism you have, what do you have in src slash test folder, src slash main folder, if there is any utility class that you have, any common libraries that you have used, if what is the logging mechanism that you have used, then what is the output folder that looks like, how you have captured the screenshots, whether you are capturing screenshots for each and every automation step, or you are capturing screenshots for only failure step, right? So those things you have to explain. Then hmm, config.properties was a good thing that you highlighted. And apart from that, what else you have? So all those things you can explain in an automation framework, right? Reporting mechanism, I think that I mentioned. So these are all the various aspects you can explain.
Yeah,
Now,
actually, when I was explaining, I forgot other thing. I was going into deeper. That's why.
no
Yeah.
worries, no worries. Also, I can feel you are a bit nervous while giving me answers, right? So please don't be nervous. Otherwise, you'll keep on forgetting these things, and it should not happen in a real-time interview. When you have got knowledge, you have actually worked on those things practically. So please be confident. Okay. Now you were mentioning something about BDD framework, right?
Yeah.
So uh, okay. So consider a scenario where we have to automate. Let's say we both are in one team, right? I am a junior person working with your guidance, right? Now you are supposed to explain to me how should a feature file be developed? How should I create a feature file with best practices and standards? So how will you guide me in that area?
Okay. Let me try. See, while doing in the BDD framework, we have three important thing for testing any kind of application. So
Mhm.
in given whatever the parameters or values we have to define, like file in a file format, and in when whatever we are going to perform, suppose I have to perform get operation, put operation, I have to validate the data, I have to delete some data, so I will perform over there. If I have to get the result response should be like this, my username and password should display like this, I will explain like this to my team member. And also feature file is like basically it is very important in BDD framework. So what scenario we are going to cover
Mhm.
inside it, like testing. So we will explain the particular whatever the scenario is. Suppose it's a login, homepage, or payment flow, whatever.
Mhm.
So that way, and while in the existing framework, because I have not designed a framework, but in the existing framework, this feature file should be there. Without it, we cannot run the script.
Mhm. Okay. Now consider a scenario where you have to create a file using Java programming language, right? You are comfortable with Java or C Sharp or Python? Which is the programming language you are comfortable?
Core Java, fine.
Java is fine. Okay. Now let's say if I have to create some particular file at the runtime, right? For example, if I'm making a payment, if it's an e-commerce based application, if I'm doing a payment more than $100, I have to create a file and I have to mention the number of payment that done in that file. So how will you try to automate this use case? The file should get created at runtime.
Okay, file should be created at runtime.
Mhm.
Logic, I'm not getting.
No worries. So you can use file writer or you can also use files class, right? So if you are having Java 7 plus version, so you can create a text file using files. If you want to maintain an Excel file, you can use Apache POI for that, right? Then you can mention at which particular path the file would get created, right? So basically, this would be kind of the logic that we will have. Let me just show you in a notepad plus this file. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see this is how we will use the files class that is available in Java, right? This is the write is one of the method. With what is the file name in which particular line? What is the Unicode UTF-8 that you will be following, right? This is the file name that I have created, which will be getting created at runtime, right? So this is how you will use the files class in Java. It is valid for Java 7 plus version if you have, so that you can use. Okay. Okay. Now,
Okay.
how will you find and restore a deleted file in a Git repository? Let's say,
Deleted.
yeah, let's say you are working in a Git repository. By mistake, you deleted some file and you committed that change, right? Now you continue working and make some more commits, but then you discover that you need to restore that file first after deleting it, right?
Okay. I think some command is there.
Yes, yes,
Pull or
yes. Which is
uh,
the command?
something for deleting. First, I have to pull.
No, no. So
Actually,
it is
command name
already
for that.
deleted. You are supposed to restore.
Okay. For restoring, some different command will be there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Get commit something.
Mm-hmm.
Restoring, I forgot.
Yes, yes, yes. So you will be having git checkout commit whatever the
Uh,
file name is there. So for example, it is login file name .txt. That's how you will put over there. So it will you will be able to restore a deleted file. Okay. What is the difference between hash map and hash table in Java?
okay. So basically, hash map in Java, it's like a combination of key and value pair
Mm,
hash map. So it's a basically what we say, it's a class in Java.
mm.
And a hash table is also have a combination of key and value pair, but it will have multiple null values inside it. But in hash map, we have only one null value can be taken, not more than one. Uh,
So
and
will
unique.
hash table, yeah, will hash table allow null key or null values?
Yeah, it will allow null values,
Mm.
not null key, I think. Yeah.
Are you sure?
I got confused.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah.
See, hash
Mhm.
table does not allow null keys or values to you, right? But hash map allows one null key and any number of null values. The reverse that you told. Hash table is synchronous, whereas hash map is not, right?
It is not a thread safe. Yeah.
Yes, so that is there.
But I think multiple values stored. I will read about it.
Okay, so let this be an open question for the people also who are watching this video. So they will also come to know what is the difference between hash table and hash map, and which one will allow null keys or values and which will not. So let us
So
know.
basic I can remember now, hash table works like a bucket. Okay, we
Okay.
whatever data is in the hash table, it
Mm,
will work like a bucket. Bucket
mm,
list will be created for the
mm,
data, like a
mm,
array we are having, but it is stored dynamically,
mhm.
and it is a thread. It is a thread safe basically more, and
Okay.
synchronization is more better. So
Right, right. Okay. How do you keep yourself upgraded? Let's say if any new tool or technology has come up in the market, how will you ensure that you're getting sufficient knowledge about it?
okay, so yeah, so it is like depends on some time to time. If we are talking about API testing, so I'll read more document because document really help for anybody, any website, any website like Geek. Suppose Geek for Geeks is very helpful for the technical
Mm,
or not like depth, but yeah, basic. I understand the Geeks for Geek, and I'll refer sometime some of the website for the testing like Guru 99 or
mm,
your channel, all that. And if it is a testing, it depends on the, which kind of testing we are going to perform, black box testing, white box, is
mhm.
it whatever the testing type regression. So I'll try to practice in the organization only, like whatever the model we are working on, try to understand that particular application product very well, and whatever bug we have identified, sometime if it interests me, I go with the root cause of any bug which is very important. That's it. Other than that, I don't go.
Okay. So any new tool or technology, any new topic in testing that you have referred in last 1 or 2 months? So maybe you would like to share something on that.
So basically, there are many actually. I can remember now.
Is your child crying?
No, no.
Hmm.
Yeah, sorry for the disturbance.
No worries, no worries. That is fine. Hmm.
There was some work going on, so
Okay.
inside my house.
Okay.
So yeah. So basically, some testing Guru 99 I prefer, and
Hmm.
sometime your channels. And there is one more group in LinkedIn. Uh, I read some of the blogs in the LinkedIn also when I get a time, not like very much regularly, but
Okay.
sometime. Yeah.
Okay. You are reading it in the office hours? Just kidding.
No, no.
Yeah. So the question was, which is the topic that you have recently read about?
Yeah. So recently I've read about the API.
Mhm. Okay, API testing. Okay, great. So would you like to share something, what you have read?
Yeah, sure. So API testing, I got to know like there is a very much different tools I was not knowing. We can do API testing using JMeter also API automation.
Mm,
So I was not knowing about it because I've never get a chance to work on that. And basic about it, we can cover many scenarios in that, like authentication, authorization concepts. We can validate accuracy of the data or on a different application level. If it is a simple application also or a difficult application also, it has a different formatting style, just an XML based. It is catchless basically. It's a it's widely used by the development team also.
mm.
So to cope up with the development, to better understand the concept, we can tester also can learn these things. So I'm getting more interest in that side, and it has a very huge demand. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So thank you so much, Salvi, for coming on our channel and giving this mock interview. I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I just want to know which technology right now trending, as in manual side more and less in automation side, because in automation everything is upgrading.
Mhm. Okay. So, actually, see, manual testing, there is no such technology. But these days, what has happened is actually people have started forgetting the fundamentals, the basics. Whenever they get something to test, they are not testing it with proper technologies like testing techniques, right? They might be testing, for example, if any field is there, right? Many people will be performing testing, but how will they perform with the help of testing techniques like boundary value analysis, equivalence partitioning is there. those are not being used. So those basics, those fundamentals are going from the market. People should actually use them, but they are taking it for the very granted that manual testing ही है ना, ये तो हो जाएगा, like that, right? Then no one is doing negative testing, right? Everyone is just interested in the happy part testing. Okay, it is working fine. Let's say, as you were telling, step 1 to step 10, okay, it is working fine. What if you change, instead of step 5 you perform step 6 first and then you go to step 5? Then what will happen? The end user might not do it intentionally, but what if he or she does it by mistake, right? Then he should not get some exceptions, some vague errors on the application. So this is what is happening. So in manual testing, one should focus on negative testing. One should focus on scenario-based testing rather than just testing happy path, right? So that is more important.
Yeah, I would like to add one thing here. Like,
Mhm.
while testing, people have to test scenarios or user stories specifically in a 3 day sometime. Deadline would be like we have to complete 3 days, 5 days. So in that time, nobody can cover every scenario. Like among it testing, random testing, they can't. They miss this kind of thing. They only go smoke, sanity, whatever the flow, regression, or it is a white box or whatever, and black box. They cover it and they just complete it in a one cycle. But the
Mhm.
process follows like a 3 cycle, 4 cycle. So
Correct.
due to time constraint also these are missing. So nowadays companies are very much fast paced. They are
Mhm.
not, some agile is also becoming small agile, like 2 weeks, sometimes 10 days only. So it is very difficult.
True,
Yeah.
true. It is difficult, but at the same time, testers need to tell, they need to educate the people that testing cannot be completed in hours. It also needs time. It needs its own time to come up from the quality aspect, right? So that is
Yeah.
what is happening these days, right? Okay. So thank you so much, Salvi, and all the best for your career.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.